Welcome to Speaking of Horror, the all-new podcast for the true horror fan.
Gather round the bonfire tonight. Let's discuss modern horror, classic horror, and even bad horror.
It's a jam session, you know what I mean? No? Well, join us and find out what it's all about. Let's get excited, let's get scared, and let's get talking. Welcome to Speaking of Horror, the all-new podcast for the true horror fan.
Bring on the horror! Evil Dead chick presents horror mania. The scariest time you will ever experience on YouTube. Get ready to be thrilled, chilled, and fulfilled by my quest to see every horror movie ever made. Bring on the vampires, zombies, and werewolves. Don't forget the maniacs slashing their way through your front door. The ghosts, the ghouls, and the creepy critters under your feet. Bring on the horror! Evil Dead chick presents Horror Mania!
Hi, I am Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel. Don't forget to watch Evil Dead Chick on Deadites on Deck on YouTube. Oh, and subscribe, man!
Take out the trash. Why? There might be something delicious in all that slop. Put out the air fresheners. Place a clothespin on your nose. Let's dig into the cream of the crop. Celluloid trash. It stinks, but we must watch. Celluloid trash. It stinks, but we must watch.
Howdy, gang. Hey, the poet. Hey, kids. And welcome to yet another celluloid trash. I will tell you that in the next few weeks, we will be winding up the movies that I've been talking about for celluloid trash. So when that's over, you know, all good things must come to an end. I guess that depends on who's saying whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. But I just would like to say that I have thoroughly enjoyed doing this series, and I will have to figure out something hopefully entertaining to replace it on Mondays when these are finished. But I did want to, if you were here early enough, you probably saw the Speaking of Horror advertisement or promo for a new podcast that I'm planning on doing. Now, folks, I'm not planning on this just being me and the Deadites on Deck crew, the animated things, because I want people to join in and be special guests on these things. Because otherwise it's not going to be as interesting, because I'm not only going to be voicing my character, but I'm also going to be having to voice the others through, AI, of course. And so I want some original thoughts and stuff like that. I don't just want my stuff on there, my thoughts on there. So if you are at all interested in coming on an upcoming episode of Speaking of Horror, Monday Nightmares, the poet, well, that would be definitely a consideration for me. That sounds good. You're always open, kids. Well, I know that I haven't been on one of yours, and I still want to. And so I'm just so grateful that you're willing to put up the offer. You said just need to let me know like 1 week ahead of time. I will do that, kids, and I will also let you know what the topic is going to be. I haven't even thought about topics for shows. Well, I know I don't need to come on there first, kids, but when I tell people, hey, I'd like to, come on different people's streams, and then I don't, I feel bad about it. And I definitely will want to carve out some time to come on there. But like I said, yeah, when I get some topics for some shows in line, I will let you know about it, kids, because you're the first person that's expressed an interest in actually being on it. But Kitschy said, we're adults with lives. It will happen when it happens. Well, I appreciate you being so patient with me. But if there are any of you other guys and gals out there, especially you guys and gals that are camera shy and would prefer not to be on camera, the great thing about this is going to be an all audio podcast. I'm not saying that sometime in the future, if somebody wants to come on live, we can actually have a live one. But right now, the initial shows will be audio only. And what I would like to do is when I have a special guest, if that special guest feels comfortable, I will make an animated version of them if they feel comfortable sending a picture of themselves. And it just has to be a headshot. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. And I will okay it with you before we have the show and before I actually put that on there. But if you don't wish to have anything, with your likeness on there, I will simply have a little, if it's a woman that's going to be on there with me, I'll have a shadow of a woman and I'll say special guest and give their name. If it's a guy, I'll do the same thing. If you want to, send me a headshot picture of yourself and let me turn it into like a animated cartoon like character, I'm fine with that. I'm also fine if you don't feel comfortable doing that. Show idea Friday the 13th ripoffs. That would be a good one. Let me write that down. the poet. And of course, I'll give you full credit for that. Okay. So I've written that down. But there's there's a couple of different ways that you can contact me if you're interested. If you're my friend on Facebook, of course, send me a message on Facebook. If you're not my friend on Facebook, you can send me an email. Just please don't anybody spam me. But if you are seriously interested, I'll put my Evil Dead Chick email in the chat, and you can drop me an email if you're not my friend on Facebook. So I just wanted to put that out there and let everybody know that that's coming. But before we get into the movies for tonight, I just wanted to once again share with you guys and gals that there are several different ways that you can support me in the channel, and it won't cost you a dime. One of the ways is by subscribing. Folks, there's never a bad time to subscribe to not only my channel, but anybody else's channel out there that you're enjoying the content that they're putting out. Okay? And there's, at least with my channel, there's no strings attached. I'm not going to come bothering you, asking you for money or trying to minister to you, try to convert you over to another religion or anything like that. If you subscribe, you subscribe. That's all there is to it, right? And once you subscribe, you can hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the new content I've got coming out. And you can hit the like button on things that you particularly enjoy. And heck, if you like it all, hit that like button all across the board. And here's one more way. And there's two different ways that you can do it. That you can support me in the channel. Won't cost you a dime. Won't cost anybody else that you tell about the channel a dime. And that's by sharing my channel handle at Deadites on Deck with friends and family members that you think might enjoy the content I'm putting out. That's kind of by word of mouth. The other way is the way Kit's brought up a few weeks ago. And that is by sharing one of my videos or streams that you particularly enjoyed and tagging me in it. Again, tag at Deadites on Deck in there. Okay. Now, there are monetary ways that you can. But I always like to share with you the free ones. You can go over to my shop on Deadites at deaditesondeck.com. If you can remember the channel name, you can certainly remember the shop name. I've got all kinds of stuff. I got new stuff in the works to put on there. And also keep in mind that I do custom work. So hit me up using the handy dandy form on the homepage of the shop site. And let me know what it is you so desire. If you want something custom made, or you like horror, but you don't see exactly what you're wanting on a shirt or a hat or what have you. Okay. So with all that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get started with this episode of Celluloid Trash. Oh boy. I had never seen this movie before. I may have seen the beginning of it, but the first movie I'm going to talk about tonight is Heavy Metal Massacre. And I believe it's directed by David DeFalco, which, if you know who David DeFalco is, a lot of his stuff was on the level of Heavy Metal Massacre. So basically what you have is this guy, and it is a guy. I don't know why he wants to go around with a belly top on some of the time, and why he looks like a girl in the beginning scenes of the film. Exactly. It looks like a lady who wants to start playing the Aerosmith song. I would if I could. I really would. You like this cheese fest, kids? You say he's glam metal, the lamest metal. But, we're supposed to believe this is heavy metal, Okay, no, I ain't buying it. So we've got this guy here. Yeah, I know. Dude looks like a lady, as the poet said. But you have this guy, and I don't know what his problem is. I guess he's just crazy. And he goes to this place called the Dungeon, and it's a place where I guess all these rock heavy metal people are supposed to hang out. He picks up chicks and he takes them back to his place. He drugs them usually, gets them chained up, gets them down to their underwear, and then he kills them in various ways. I don't even know what in the heck he is doing in this one scene. I thought, well, maybe he's supposed to pull her tongue out or something, because he has his chick chained up and he takes a pair of pliers. He kind of looks like your mom kids. I don't mean to laugh, but yeah, like in the early scenes and like this poster, I thought it was a chick. I did. And I was like, oh, is this going to be some heavy metal chick that's doing this killing? I mean, it's just very strange. But anyway, he has this one chick chained up. And he takes pliers and he reaches into her mouth and she's screaming and carrying on. And this is after he's done something to her. I thought he was slicing her open. That's the other thing. This is the transfer is so bad. You can hardly tell what's going on or see what's going on, or at least the transfer I saw. It looked like he cut her stomach, but I don't know. But what it looks like is he pulls a thread or something out of her mouth, and then a bunch of blood comes out, and she's dead. When was this made? This came out in 1989, the poet. And Lord have mercy. You know. And the music was not good. I think it was by a band called Electric Afterburner or something like that. And folks, I'm just going to tell you this right now. I like my share of bad movies, but this thing made my head hurt in more ways than one. Because let me tell you something. There are good rock horror movies, there are bad rock horror movies, and then there's this. That's that's the best thing. Because what in the, well, I'm going to try to be nice. What in the heck was David DeFalco thinking when he had all this psychedelic and double, triple, quadruple imagery all the time in it, and it was fuzzy half the time? I mean, this thing almost gave me a migraine trying to look at it. Well, you said this is fiction because no one will believe he can pick up chicks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the chicks saw in him. I really don't. But, and I kid you not, maybe Kits will disagree with me on this, because Kits has seen this, apparently. So, there was a chick, one of the first chicks this guy kills in the movie. I swear to goodness, the first time I saw this chick, she looked like Nancy Grace. Everybody knows who Nancy Grace is. It looked like if Nancy Grace was a heavy metal horror slut, you know, then that would be her. I had visions of Nancy Grace when I saw that chick. Okay. So, and okay, here's something else. People want to talk about how bad something like Terror on Tour is. How in the heck can you say that Terror on Tour is bad when there's this thing out there, folks? I mean, this is not even so bad it's good to me. I mean, if you enjoy it, that's fine. There's one chainsaw murder. You know, he chainsaws this guy's guts out. Of course, again, you can't really see anything. And you can watch this for free on YouTube if you want to, folks. If you want to try it out. And here's another thing that Terror on Tour has better in it. It has better music than the Electric Afterburner Band or whatever. I mean, this music sounded like a bad Poison cover band. Everybody remembers Poison, right? From the 80s. I used to like their music. Oh my good Lord. I just, this was bad music. It wasn't even heavy metal. It was just bad rock music. As Steve said about New Year's Evil, that was just bad rock music. It wasn't punk. It wasn't new wave. It was just bad rock music. Kids, you say, yes, haha, I know the band, not my cup of tea for sure, but that's a perfect comparison. I mean, that's all I could think of. It was like, if Poison did really bad songs back in the 80s, they would have been the Electric Afterburner Band or whatever the heck they were called. But I mean, it did not sound like heavy metal. It didn't sound like Ozzy Osbourne or any of the other heavy metal artists. Okay, so watch this, but viewer discretion is advised, and not for violence or anything like that, just because it's so dang on bad. And yes, I'm going to go ahead and give it a rating, folks. And here's another thing, folks, that irked me about this movie. It was about 7 minutes in before the movie even started. It was all this fuzzy, pixelated imagery that I just did not need to see. So, I am going to give this one deadite out of 5, folks. That's all I can give it. That is, I might even go down to a half. I mean, I saw people say WTF about this movie, WTF is this movie. And, but like I said, again, if you enjoy it, if you get some kind of enjoyment out of it at all, it doesn't bother me in the least. And you're entitled to your own opinion, your own taste, and all of that. But for me, I hope I never have to watch this movie again. I really did think that I would get some kind of enjoyment out of it, because usually I do. But folks, all you Terror on Tour haters out there, how in the world, after seeing this, can you call Terror on Tour that bad? Folks. Whoa. Oh, okay. I'm going to get off that train now. But anyway, that's Heavy Metal Massacre. Now, I'm kind of perplexed that this next movie, Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2, was even written about in the Awful Awesome book. And I think it was the second volume of Awful Awesome. Because, folks, people may disagree with me, but Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2 is not, I don't think of it as a so bad it's good or anything like that. I just find it to be a fun movie. The only drawback for me, and it's just a simple little thing, is that they did not continue the Robin Hammond story from the original Prom Night. Because if you watch the original Prom Night, you see that Jamie Lee Curtis's character of Kim, when she finds out that, spoiler alert, she's killed her brother is the person that's killing people off at the prom because they caused the death of his twin sister when they were kids. So you know, a normal progression, I guess, for a sequel in my eyes would be, even if you couldn't get Jamie Lee Curtis back, which you probably couldn't in 1987 or sooner if they had made a sequel sooner to Prom Night, would be to have, you know, Kim lose her mind and years later either break out of the mental hospital or get released because they think she's well. And she goes around killing people at another prom. Now, some people might say, well, nah, that's boring. I like the Mary Lou story. And I like the Mary Lou story too. Yeah, you said Prom Night 3 has a different Mary Lou. Yeah, I do remember that. And I prefer this one to Prom Night 3. I also like Prom Night 4. Some people may not like it, but each one of them, you know, well, 2 and 3 are about Mary Lou Maloney. And let me back it up a little bit. So Mary Lou was a bad girl. She messed around with a bunch of different boys and she'd been disobedient to her parents and stuff. There's an opening scene in this movie where she goes to the priest and she confesses, and then she says, and there's one more thing, Father. She says, I enjoyed every minute of it. And so, you know, she's a bad girl. And so she's dating Michael Ironside's character, or what becomes Michael Ironside's character. And she's dating him, but she wants to get it on with this Bud Cooper guy. And I don't know if they called him Bud Cooper after Buddy Cooper, who did the film Mutilator. You've never watched this one, kids? This is a fun one. This is, you know, again, I'm not sure why this was in volume 2 of Awful Awesome, but I had a lot of fun with it. It's, but to get back to the story, so her date to the prom finds her getting ready to have sex with Bud Cooper. And he gets angry and he takes a smoke bomb and he's going to drop it on Mary Lou and cause a big stink, basically, when she is crowned prom queen. Well, it goes horribly wrong. The smoke bomb ends up catching Mary Lou's prom dress on fire and burning her up. And so the guy that was her date, he grows up to be the principal, and the principal is played by Michael Ironside. And Bud Cooper becomes a priest, but he has never forgot about Mary Lou. And he, you know, he's haunted by her. The principal's haunted by her, of course. And Mary Lou is basically still stalking the halls of Hamilton High, which Hamilton High is the connection, pretty much the only connection with the original Prom Night, which also took place in Hamilton High. This is another Canadian production. And so a girl that has a chance to be crowned prom queen in 87 or probably 86, was probably when this is filmed, gets possessed by the spirit of Mary Lou Maloney, and all hell breaks loose, basically. So I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed going back and revisiting it because I hadn't seen it for a while. And it was fun. It was fun to go back and watch this. This one is longer than Heavy Metal Massacre, but not by much. But it's more enjoyable. Like, Heavy Metal Massacre seemed twice as long as it actually was, just because it was so bad. But if you have not seen Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2, I urge you to. You can watch it on Tubi. You can watch it on the Possum app for free if you don't mind commercials. And it's a pretty. I rewatched it again because I was too lazy to get my DVD out. I thought Steve had a Blu-ray, but apparently he doesn't. And I thought I had a Blu-ray, but I don't see it around. So I ended up, like I said, I was too lazy to go get my DVD off the shelf and back. So I just watched it on Tubi. And like I said, it was a decent print. A nice additional story for Hamilton High and in the Prom Night series. And do keep in mind that there were 4 different Prom Night movies. And Peter Simpson, the producer, his son Brock is in every single one of these prom nights. He was in the original Prom Night. He played the young Nick. And he was in every one of them after that, playing different characters. He plays the character of Josh in this one. And I think in part 3, he plays Larry. And in part 4, he plays a priest, Father Colin. So be on the lookout for Brock Simpson, Peter Simpson's son, to show up in all these. See if you can spot him in all of them. But I enjoyed this immensely. And I enjoyed it immensely going back and watching it again. And I'm going to give it 5 Deadites out of 5. I think it's worthy of that. And it was so refreshing to go back and watch this one after the Heavy Metal Massacre debacle. So, folks, once again, I guess that ties everything up with a nice, neat little bow. And keep in mind, speaking of horror, I am not against having more than one special guest. So, just because Kits put her name out there does not mean that I can have 2, or, I don't want to have like 10 special guests on there, but that doesn't mean that I couldn't have 1 or possibly 2 additional guests on the show. And we could have some good discussion about whatever the topic is at hand. And kids, as soon as I figure out what the topic is going to be for the first episode, I will let you know. And I will let you know a week ahead of time. So I just wanted to put all of that out there. And I want to thank the Poet and Kits for hanging out in the chat with me, keeping me company in the chat tonight. And for those of you that maybe were watching along, but maybe didn't feel comfortable getting in the chat, or you were watching the stream on a device like a smart television where you weren't able to chat at the same time, I thank you for watching as well. And for those of you that couldn't join me live, that will watch this on the replay, I appreciate you guys and gals as well. And as always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday night, folks. And I'll see everybody next time.